WECT investigates another death at a massive pork processing plant in Bladen County. Smithfield Foods confirms an employee died at Smithfield Foods Tar Heel facility last Friday after a, quote, medical issue, end quote. WECT investigative reporter Connor Smith joining us now with those details. Connor, this is the third death at this facility in the last 10 months.
Yeah, that's right, Daniela. Now, we're still working to learn details about this specific death, but we do know OSHA and the North Carolina Department of Labor have opened another investigation into the plant. Smithfield says the employee had a medical issue around 9 p.m. Friday night. The Bladen County Sheriff's Office investigated, determining it was an accident. Chief Deputy Morgan Johnson says surveillance video shows the employee crashing his golf cart into a truck that was backing up. After the crash, the employee collapsed. Smithfield and the Sheriff's Office declined to share the employee's name. OSHA opened their investigation on Monday. The State Labor Department says they can't comment on an active investigation. A Smithfield spokesperson sent us this brief statement today, quote, "Paramedics arrived at the scene and administered CPR before transferring him to a local hospital. We were deeply saddened to learn that he was pronounced deceased upon arrival, and our thoughts and prayers are with his family." Now, we're pushing Smithfield to answer our questions, but so far they've declined repeated interview requests. We're also working to get public records that would shed more light on what's happening at the plant. Daniela?
Connor, what do we know about the status of those other OSHA investigations?
Yeah, the probe into the death at the plant last June recently finished. It resulted in thousands of dollars in fines for Smithfield. The other investigation is ongoing, and I'll have more on that ahead at 6.
All right, Connor, thanks for that report tonight. Back on Monday.